Okay, we're just about done, but we've got to make up a filament wire. So take your yellow hookup wire and split it into two like this, and chuck it in a drill. This is the best way to. You can do this by hand, and for years I did it by hand, and then Charles convinced me that this is a far superior way. So get your drill in low, and just take your time, low and slow. And just before it starts to want to bunch up too much, you want a nice tight, see it's just starting to bunch, you're done. And out it comes, and this is the best way to get a good twist on a wire that needs to be twisted hard. And this will keep the filament field. And with the crosses, every time these wires cross each other nice and snug, it helps to cancel out the field of the filament wire and keep the noise coming off of this to a minimum. It won't eliminate it, but everything with everything to do with filament supplies, anything you can do to make it quieter, you do it. Okay, let's get everything installed. Okay, so this is the AC filament supply. These two wires will give us approximately 6.3 volts.
And annoyingly, it's just a little bit too long.
Yeah, that's fine. It's much better to be a little long than to be a little short. So let's just get it in here. We're going to bring it in. We don't want it
little arch over.
We don't want it so tight that you have to struggle to get it on. So something like that is good. So we're going to take off just a little bit. And while we're trimming wires, we're going to bring in the yellow braid that yellow twist that we just did, and that's going to leapfrog from here over to here, just like that.
And another nice little arc.
And again, we don't want it too tight like this, but we don't want it, way up in the air like this. Because the shorter this is, the better it is, but it also has to be, the installation has to be reasonably practical. So something like that is going to work. So all you need to do now is to strip back a little length and tin both ends.
And if it helps keep the braid together, there is some yellow shrink in there, and you can actually install a small piece of it on either end here before you put the wire in.
And I think that's just a touch long, so I'm just gonna trim that up. Okay, hop to it, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're all done.
All right, well, we just made our first mistake of the build series here, and thought we had hit record, and instead of not hitting record.
I'm gonna show you what you missed. It's not a big deal. So this is the total length of the jumper. It's about 4 inches, or just a hair over 100 millimeters. You might notice that we did a great job recording that segment. You might notice that we've got a little bit of shrink held back a little bit, and then in the middle, and then held back a little bit, and the same on the white twisted wire. Don't put it too close to the end, or you won't be able to get your wires to spread apart properly. But the shrink neatens things up, and it just helps hold the twist in place. Then go ahead and twist these two wires together, and put a little tiny bit of flux, and it's just like tinning a wire basically, but you're making a very light butt joint on it. Don't put too much solder on, or you're not going to be able to get it to go into the blue junction. And we've actually still got an extra blue junction kicking around. So let's just
make sure that's going to fit and size it for it.
Yeah, so let's just trim that back a little bit. And let's just check and see if it fits nicely. And it does. And over here it does. It's beautiful. And you can see it just fits snug. So that is just perfect. Now the last thing we've got to do is we've got to tin this side and then trim it and size it. Okay, let's get the filament supply installed. Now, a little pair of needle nose pliers can really make a difference. So get everything lined up And it's going to be slightly fussy, so don't rush it. Just take your time, and eventually you get it all in the right spot. And then it'll just...
Can't quite see that on camera.
I was going to say it's just going to go in because I thought I had it all lined up perfectly, but it's a little bit not perfect, so...
And if you need to, you can get one side screwed down while you adjust the other one, but there isn't a lot of wiggle room there, so try and get them both in at the same time if you can.
Mm-hmm. And I think I may have put just a little bit too much solder on there, so I'm going to show you how to clean that up. See how this is really lightly soldered and this is a little heavier? So what I did was I cleaned the solder off my tip, and I'm just going to come along and I'm just going to literally you just pick it up with your tip.
Try to pull it off. Yeah.
There. That should go in nicely now. And just give it a second to cool off. And let's just line it up. Let's use the pliers. And
you're a little low. Still low. There we go.
There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to very lightly just fasten it down just a little bit, and then this one should go in quite easily. There we go. It is a little fussy.
It could go in a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, we're going to adjust everything now. I've got them both in. And there we go. Look at that.
All right, well, let's give everybody a good view here because we've been out of focus for most of this. Okay, let's take a quick look at that. So that's how it should look there now. Let me get that better in focus.
Have a good look for stray wires. You really don't want one phase leaping over to the other phase.
Yeah, and this is AC, so it doesn't matter which wire goes in which side. I'm not sure if we've said that yet.
Yeah, now instead of two wires, we only have a single wire here, and these should just drop right into the connector and not be fussy. Okay.
They're going to be fussy.
Charles.
This isn't the most elegant part of the build here. It can be a little fussy getting these leads in.
There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to actually just snug this down lightly.
This is how I personally do it. I always get one in with the needle nose pliers, tighten it down a bit, and then I come in and get the other one in.
My strategy is to go and get a brake item ready and to call Charles. No, I'm just kidding.
There we go.
Okay, now just make sure that you've got a nice sort of an arch of wire.
Same for over here. We want to try and keep this in between the capacitors.
And now I'm just going to finish up. In fact, I can use a block. Where's my favorite block? There we go. Let's block it up. And now I'm just going to finish up. I'm going to snug it up. And I'm going to make sure that this is snugged up as well. And now you can actually just give it a little tug test. Just to make sure that it's on there solidly, and it is.
And we'll do the same over here.
Okay, well that was a little fussy, but we're almost done. Well done, everyone.